Hey, what's going on guys? FastShot56 here today, and I'm going to be bringing you guys another Fall Guys video. In this video, I'll give you guys one tip slash trick for each level on Fall Guys, but just keep in mind, some of these levels are harder to give tips on tricks on because each level's not like made equally, so it's a little bit harder. Some have like really dumb tips and tricks, but the other ones are pretty good. And some of these aren't mine, so if I find wherever I found them at, I'll try to link them, but don't be so sure on that. But other than that, let's begin. Alright, I'm gonna try to go through these as fast as possible. So starting with the first one, the whirligig, getting hit by the fan after you jump from the two boxes. If you get launched upwards, then you can land on an invisible barrier, and then you can jump off it, and then you'll be teleported to like the final part area. For dizzy heights, when you get to past the like spinny circle things and get to the first ball part, if you dive like to the left and right side of the ball, you can kind of avoid it. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does. It's actually kind of cool. When you're playing Hit Parade, the giant door, the left and right's open when the middle door closes because it's actually two separate doors, not just one big door. For Seesaw, if this one was kind of weird to do, but for some reason whenever I like dive onto like a pretty vertical seesaw, I usually stand up, but I don't know if they changed the mechanics of that because that's not 100% guaranteed to work, so just keep that in mind. For gate crash, usually jump towards the open gates that are fast, because most likely the gate will just close in on you, and the best you could do is try to predict, so you jump to the closed ones that'll open as soon as you get to there. For door dash, this one was, I don't know what to do for this. I don't know, just stay in the middle, because if you're in the back you ain't gonna make it through the door, and most likely when you're in the middle you usually get crowd surfed through the door, so that's just the easiest thing you can do, I guess. For slime climb, usually the people use the first tactic in the beginning where it's a shortcut, and that's fine, but I'd say just wait a little bit before going because everyone always does that shortcut now. And if you don't hit that one, then you can always do the one to the next of it to get on like the beginning just a little bit. For rollout in the beginning, you can see like with the donuts, the walls, and the holes are going to be, well, not the holes, but you can see the other two ones, and you can pretty much predict where they're going, and you can just avoid them however you like. For block party, this one's also kind of a hard one because it's not, you can't really determine anything other than, I'd just say stay away from people as best as you can, so because like the only way you're gonna perform good jumps is if you stay away. For tiptoe, usually what I like to do is I usually like to just wait for people to just jump off and kill themselves, so that way it's just so much easier for you to just find the right path immediately. Gives you a head start. For jump club, this is also a really hard one to try to figure out one. But usually what I like to do is just run around and like maybe like either like touch the green like stick that spins around. So that way you don't really have to focus on jumping, more so just moving forward, and it's really easy. For fruit shoot, never, and I mean never, go into the middle. It's gonna be a lot harder if you go then to the left or the right because the log is just, and you just can never, you gotta jump over it. But then there's also fruits that usually are in the middle, and you can just avoid the fruit a lot easier by going to the left and the right. Just remember to just never go middle. For toe tag, you can hide in the middle of the spinning hammer, so that way it's pretty much like a defense mechanism. Just keep in mind that people can still get in there even without tails. It happened to me one time and I was like, bruh. For perfect match, you can walk on the open gaps between the platforms, so you don't have to worry about accidentally missing a jump or anything. You should be okay with that. For egg scramble, you can protect your golden egg by holding it in your base, so the other person has to grab you, but then the egg as well, so that means you have another chance of defending it, and you can pretty much just like tackle them, like go full on wrestling, just bully them, and especially with everyone else there trying to grab your eggs, it's like just a genius idea. For team tail tag, you can hold the grab button on the treadmill and then just like steal someone's tail easily. Like you don't need to do anything. Some people have already seen this though, so just keep in mind with that because some people will just try to move around. Just usually try to stay in the middle of the treadmill. For hoarders, this is one that you can't really control, but if you're playing with like some friends, defenders for like on your team to make sure the ball just stays in the back area of your land, because it's so good. Because like if the ball comes out, you have little control over that, especially when there's like multiple people all jumping for one ball. So if you can at least keep some balls in your area as much as possible, it would be the best thing for you, honestly. For Hoopsie Daisy, this one's a hard one. I don't know what to put. I mean, if you don't know, there's a golden ring that can give you 10 points, and it slowly moves around in a circle, so it's a little bit harder to get. Just in case if you didn't know that. And for Jinxed, when the match starts, the two Jinx people will be on the opposite side of the team. So if you're on yellow team, then the blue dude will be on your side, and then the yellow dude will be on the blue side. And pretty much what that means is that it's so that way the one Jinx person has a lot more of a chance to actually jinx people. So when you spawn in on Jinx, go to the opposite side, where like let's say if you're on yellow team and you're on the right side, then go to the blue side where all the blue teams are. Don't go to the one blue dude, because then you'll probably just get jinxed. And finally, for rock and roll, just keep pushing the ball. Like, I don't understand why you would want to leave your team at the very beginning of the match. Just keep pushing it. Like, maybe halfway, I guess you could leave, but just if it's better to just get it as much as possible before anyone else, because if someone leaves before everyone else is still pushing it, they're not doing anything for like 15 seconds. They're literally not doing anything. They could have been helping you push the ball, and more manpower behind the ball means it moves faster, moves forward. That's what you want. But this dude's not helping, or multiple people. Just stick with your team, that's all. Fall Mountain is another one where it's like you can't control it, so the only tip I can really give is just predict the ball movement. There's not much you could really do. You have no control over this one at all. Royal Fumble is like another one where it's you can't really control anything. Usually what I try to do is just try to outsmart and predict where the person's going, because you can't really do much, considering that the only thing you can do is grab the person's tail by, you know, moving in front of them or whatever, because there's no mechanic like the spinning hammer on regular tail tag. There's nothing like that where you can hide, or like there's no underground place or anything. No, it's just really basic small area, so you can't control that. For Hexagon, this one's obvious. I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, and it's just jumping from platform to platform slowly. It's just the best way to keep going and without losing too much platform. That's usually how most people survive. So if you're a person that doesn't know this and you keep always running, and you're like, how do I always lose and I can never win Hexagon, it's such a bad game mode. Well, just do this, because honestly it's just so helpful. Like, I don't understand how you didn't know this already and how you haven't seen other people do this, because it's literally just Hexagon 101. And finally, for the last one, the newest game mode, I believe, is Jump Showdown, and this one's also kind of a weird one because you can't really control it because it's really RNG. But usually I like to stay next to like two different platforms, so like purple and blue, and so that way in case if there's an earthquake, I have more of a chance to go left or right with ease. Because let's say you're on like a purple one and it's like about to break, you have to do like a full jump before, like especially if your reflexes are like a lot slower. This will just help you a lot more. So that's one tip / trick for every level in Fall Guys so far. Some of them were a little hard to think of, and you know, some of them were kind of weird and dumb because you can't really do one for that, because most of the games are kind of hard to, I guess, control, because some of them are mostly RNG. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and with nothing else left to say, have a great day. Well, actually, there is one more thing to say, which is kind of dumb of me, but I accidentally forgot Fall Ball in this, and I don't know how. I just guess I just missed it by accident. This one, this tip is not that exciting. It's not even like surprising. It's just have a goalie and make sure that you hit the ball correctly. But I'm surprised at myself that I forgot about this. Well, I guess this is it. Goodbye now.